didn't see you there. What's up, everybody? Super Milesio here. It is a nice and rainy Saturday morning, so I thought what better time to sit down and let you guys in on a little bit of my madness. Today we're going to be looking at one of my most recent projects, my own arrangement of a song called Precious Lord. This song was inspired by a number of things that I want to call your attention to before we even start. First of all, I've heard a lot of iterations of this song, but my arrangement is most closely inspired from Arnold Sevier's arrangement, so if you haven't heard that, you definitely should check that out. There's also a choir called the Aeolians of Oakwood University that they are one of my all-time favorite choirs to listen to. I think they're incredible. They performed Arnold's arrangement of this song, so I've left a link in the description. You're missing out big time if you don't check it out. But enough chatter, let's get into it. Strap in, it's going to be a wild ride. Alright everybody, here we are in Logic. Let's take a look. First of all, let's just go through our basic stuff. Regions, 249. That's not a ton, is it? And the main reason for that, I think, is because a lot of these regions are quite a bit longer. The song's duration, it runs at about 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Not too bad, which is about the same length as the arrangement I was working with. That was actually, we were planning to sing that with my choir, my school's choir. Don't think we ever got around to it, but it's a really nice piece. So, I chose the key of F sharp major. There's a couple of reasons for this. The arrangement that I'm working with, it's in the key of B flat major, which I could have kept as my key, but there were a couple things. One was that I wanted, whereas the arrangement that I was inspired by is an SATB choir piece with, there's no one line that really stands out from the rest. But I wanted to take sort of one of those lines and loosely translate it to be like the actual melody, which is what I ended up doing. And if I were to do that, being in the key of B flat would have made it a sort of an awkward range for me to do that for my own voice. So I decided to move it down to F sharp, in a sense. Plus that gives me a chance to really flex my bass skills and go down or register. So I did that. Also, I just really love the key of F sharp, and I feel like it would really fit well for this, for the mood of this piece. So without further ado, let's play some of this stuff. So we start with an intro section that is not present in the arrangement, that in Sevier's arrangement, but here we go. So this is not unison, but we're all in F sharp. So down here we've got the that F sharp, and then up here we've got here we go. Yeah, so what's going on there? So we've got that nice clash that I was like, I decided I wanted to do that. Whereas some of these are still going to stay on that F sharp. That's not what I wanted. So we've got that nice major 7 in there, and then we go down to the B. Same chord progression, but goes a little bit faster there. Then I did that, the D, which I like because, and we're going to be coming back to this, but that F sharp now becomes the 3rd in the key of D. I don't know, I just heard that as a cool little transition. Yeah, and then we really get down there. Ooh, nice. So that really sets us up perfectly. You want to go back to, and I don't know, I could have just gone straight into it, but I just felt like I kind of needed to ease into it, set your ears up for that, and get those nice emotions flowing. So that's what I did there. Let's press play.
Precious Lord.
So, I should also mention this, but another big inspiration for this, which was my project I did right before this, was Jacob Collier's arrangement of You and I. So this might feel reminiscent of that, and that's probably why. It's also in the exact same key, and it even starts similar with this F sharp major 7, whatever. We've got So if you're, yeah. Here we are. Sort of the, yeah, that's you and I. But it's slightly different. The balance is a lot different, I think. There's less emphasis on the major 7. Don't mind this mug. I'm not fueled by yoga. So I wanted to sort of blossom into that chord. I didn't want to be like boom. I wanted like I kind of like that sort of feeling there. And then here we have Precious Lord.
Precious Lord, take my hand.
I wanted it to be sort of a offset to where the melody is coming in at different times than the rest, because I like that. But I think something worth noting here, which you will notice if you watch the Aeolians, they do this amazing thing with their consonants and their vowels. But so when they say take my hand, there's this take my. I'm kind of overdoing it a little bit, but they really hit those K's hard. They hit any consonant is like it's really so. I tried to do a little bit of that here, so you can sort of hear it. But with all these parts, with all that reverb, you need to. I wanted to hit it strong, so you would hear that. Take my hand. And you sort of get that. So I really like that progression, which sort of it coincides nicely with the melody. So you've got.
Take my hand.
Then we've got this nice chord here. So that would normally that's like a B9 chord, whatever. But the clash comes with the melody here, which is it's not always typical, but so yeah, we've got that B flat in there, whatever you call it.
Let me stand.
I guess it would be A sharp, whatever.
Let me stand.
So that's a really nice one there. We've got the.
Let me stand beyond. Let me stand.
And that's a lot of this is very similar to the soprano alto parts in the SATB arrangement, but it's not at all one-to-one. It's just very loosely inspired by that. And I think I took the tenor part, and that became my melody for the most part. What would have been the tenor part in the SATB thing. So here we've got this little deal.
I am tired.
Right. So that's what I had at first, but it really lacks the depth and the beef that I wanted. But I also wanted to have the bass part come in with a bang on this part. So what we have here is.
I am tired.
Yeah, we got whoa,
Whoa.
and of course I am also using my octaver, which I should probably should note that here. Yeah, you can't really discern it most of the time, but it really adds that depth that you want.
Whoa.
And then I believe that these also coincide with that. You get the fifth.
Whoa.
Yeah. Just add that extra beef.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then you've got the.
Whoa.
So that nice little. Excuse me. That goes with this. So.
I am tired.
And then we're in this. Octaver goes away at that point. So yeah, we've got.
I am weak.
So yeah, I'm trying to take a lot of liberties with the melody here, because I think I just think it was.
I am weak.
Yeah. What you'll also notice here is that if you just listen without the melody, you can't really tell what I'm saying, even though I'm kind of trying to do the same vowels and basically the same words. But if you listen here, I'm supposed to be saying I am tired, but listen, Yeah, I'm doing that because I think I might have actually muted all of the T's. So you can see right here, I've muted anywhere where there was like a strong T sound, mostly because it would have been just a pain to perfectly line up all those T's. I didn't want it to be like which, ideally I would be able to line them up, but since the melody hits it strong, then I didn't want those T's to be fighting with each other, so sometimes I'll do that, or at least I lower the tones. So you can still totally get that I'm saying tired. And here we have one of my favorite chords in this project. I just really like this, so that's really nice, if I do say so myself. So we've got and yeah, so get that nice justly tuned third. Is that right here? Yeah. Which would, okay, G sharp, A flat, same thing. Yeah. It's one of my favorite chords, but then you add all this stuff like I am. Yeah. Really nice. And then the melody. Got that 9, but I love when the melody does something that's like, the melody has the major 7 or the melody has the 9, because it's like, I don't know, you get that really nice. Yeah. Well, that's a little crunch time. So yeah. The melody's gonna stay on that. That's sort of similar to what it does in the arrangement. Again, a lot of these like motifs, I would say, are from the arrangement, but I've modified them from a little bit to a lot a bit, depending on where it is, because I really, not only is it a different key, so I had to sort of reinvent a lot of these ideas because some of them didn't quite translate over, but I'm not limiting myself. I'm trying not to handcuff myself to what that arrangement did, but I'm using it for inspiration very, very strongly. So through the storm. So yeah, got that major 7 in there. Through the night. All right, take a listen to this. Lead me home. Okay, so we've got lead me. That stays the same. What I did up here is kind of interesting. Lead me. Probably that. Me. So there's a lot of clash up here, which I just sort of threw in a bunch of notes and hoped and prayed that they would work, and some of them did. I did have to take out a couple that I put in there that I ought not to have put in there, but yeah, and then we've got and then I think the bass lead me on. And then we've got again the clash in the melody. Yeah. Through the got that nice E in there, which is nice. So that's a really sort of a nice a thing there. And then we go into the Take My Hand section, which is pretty cool as well. So take my hand, take my hand, take my hand. You don't get to hear after that because I want to save it for a second. So first, we've got this, I guess, whatever you call it, Stagger, call and response, words. That's not what I intended. So, the first one that comes in is this.
Take my hand.
Yeah. And the melody is going to be slowly.
Take my hand.
Yeah. So that one comes in first.
My hand.
And we've got this.
Take my hand.
Does this one come in too? Yeah.
Take my hand.
Take my hand. And then.
My hand. Take my hand, Lord.
Oh, darn it. Oh, well. You'll hear that in a sec. So, probably I really like this clash that I put in there. I believe it's no. It's gonna be this and then the melody. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you can hear a little glitch in there because I didn't really smooth that out enough. It's okay. Yeah. So you can hear that in there. It's got that nice little, just adds the nice little bit of pop to that sausage. Then I could have very easily done anything other than what I did, but this was my favorite thing in the world. So here's what it did. Woo! Lord. So I went down to the low D, which is like the flat 6, right? So what we have here is take my hand, Lord. So that's what we have.
And Lord.
Yeah. So again, I've talked about this in a previous thing, but I really like when the melody is sort of doing what you expect, or if you just listen to the melody, you're like, oh, okay. But then you listen to what the bass line's doing or whatever everything else is doing, and you're like, oh, that's not what I expected. So I can't really explain quite my process when deciding to do this, but I just heard, if I went way down there, that would be kind of cool, because now this melody note, the Lord, the F sharp, becomes the third in this D chord, and so it is a little bit different because it's justly tuned. See, look, now it goes from like being pretty much dead on to 14, 13 cents flat, and then the rest of the chord progression follows that. So we've got the major 7 in there, we've got the 9 up here. Lord, where is it? There we go. And so it all adds together.
Take my hand, Lord.
Yeah, and that is not, that's not, I didn't get that from the arrangement. That's totally my own doing, and I really like the way that sounds. And again, I can't quite explain. I know we're going to like down to the flat 6, but all that matters to me is that's what I heard and that's what I did, and you either like it or you don't. Deal or no deal. Here we go.
Lord, and lead me.
Pretty standard stuff right there.
Home.
Yeah. So
Home.
right up here, we're already on the note we need to be on. We're already home up here. Home. I don't know. Something about. I'll get to this later on. But I really like when the lyrics themselves play into the chord progressions that I want to do. Because, you think of home, the word home, that has a certain connotation to me in the context of music. When you say, oh, we're home, in the context of like a key signature, key center, when you're home, you feel comfortable, you're back where you expect, where you want to be, sort of where you've been trying to get this entire time. And we actually say the word home here. So anyways, we'll get back to that later. But up here, we're already home. We're F sharp. But in the bass, we are not. So what I did here That becomes now the fifth. So I guess you would call this a Plagal Cadence. So because we have, but I wanted to add a little bit of fun, exciting movement to get there. So listen to this. Ooh, nice. So in the bass, so we have, oh man, you can hear that Plagal Cadence, like whatever. So we have that, and then we add this. I forget what are you guys doing here? Yes, we got that 9 in there, and then up here. So all together, blah, here we go. Yeah, and then you can hear the, I just want to show you. So we've got the, yeah, I did the home, and it was just in the bass line. I didn't like hit that really hard anywhere else. I just wanted that little pop there. So that's nice. All right, well that is chorus or verse chorus 1, and we are now over halfway done with this. Here's the second verse. Start of the second verse.
When my way.
Yeah. So I'm doing a lot more interesting stuff with like the rhythms and the stuff here, just to keep it interesting. Didn't want to just repeat the pattern in the first verse again. So we've got this really sustained note.
My way.
We sort of ease off of that after it. It's like a whoo, and then we're off. When we get that nice clash. And then we've got okay, we do have these right off the bat. So we've got oh, had that note twice. Here we go. Yeah, I love because we've got that nice. I really like the major 7. If you can't tell, it creeps up a lot. And then again, we have this thing with the bass where it comes in later on, and I think it's
when my way,
yeah.
When my way grows dream.
Oh, that's another interesting thing. All right, so yeah, the bass comes in and it's got the nice 5th to support it.
When my way, when my way.
So the bass gets a little moment to shine by itself there. When my
grows dream.
Whoa there. So here's a little fun fact. If you ever need to impersonate me, then you should remember this fact. My favorite, well, I can't pick a favorite. One of my favorite chords is this one right here. In a sense, it's sort of an E major triad over A. So like E major over A. Like you get the but then we've got an A in the bass, so it's come on. Yeah, so if you just listen, I think you should be able to just hear the E. Yeah. But then you hear that A in the bass that just really... I think if you put any chord, any major chord over the 4th of that key, then it sounds really nice. But, you know, I was... one fateful day, I was playing around on the piano, and I was just trying that. I was like, oh, let me put the major triad like over the 4th, so like C major over F or random stuff like that. And then when I went up chromatically and I finally hit that E major over A, I like just blossomed my world open like a rose, and I was like, that's it right there. So I just was like, oh, that could be a cool thing to do here. So I did it.
Precious Lord.
I like that. Again, with that major 7, it's powerful, man. I don't want, you know, it can be, you can definitely overdo it. Perhaps I did a little bit, but that's the only way to get like these. It's like that clash, man. I live for that. It's like
Precious Lord,
Yeah.
precious Lord.
I don't know. This is about the extent to which I can do like inflections or vocal runs. I'm just playing around here. It's not great, but
Precious Lord, linger near.
yeah, whatever. Oh, but
Precious
there's another.
Lord, linger near.
Yeah. So I just thought it would be fun to just creep it lower and lower with the bass. So we've got
Linger near.
near. Yes, I can actually hit those notes. Thank you very much.
Linger near.
Yeah. So that becomes a sort of a.
Linger near.
It becomes a C minor. So we've got sort of like a. We got an E flat minor, which then goes down to a C minor. I keep saying E flat, even though it's like, whatever. We're in the key of F sharp, technically D sharp. Yeah. So there's just a slight little like fun thing here. So we've got, I think, yeah.
When my life.
So we've got pretty straight, when my life, and then I think everything else, maybe there's a couple things that follow that, but everything else is going to be when my life. So, yeah, so like.
When my life.
Yeah, there's a couple of things in there that go with the melody, but most of it's going to be my life. So that adds that nice little anticipation that, but then after life we're all together, which is nice. Yeah, so I did that for a couple reasons where now all of a sudden the melody's by itself, so everything else sort of dies down. In my life, everything's gone except for the melody. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, I just thought it'd be refreshing to have everything die down for a minute and then give it more power when it comes back in. And another thing is I just didn't really feel like coming up with any harmonies for that. So I just left it. But then you get that nice entrance when they come back in, when my life. When my life is almost. Yeah. When my life is almost.
When my life is almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
And here we go. All right, here's where you really got to buckle in because we're about to get into some crazy stuff. So,
Almost gone.
first of all, not a bad chord right there.
Almost gone.
Gone.
Almost gone.
Now we've got the dominant 7 in the melody.
Almost
Gone.
almost gone.
Anyways, I'll just let you hear all these notes because I don't quite know what they are in the context of the chord, so I'll just let you figure it out. That's what the top part sounds like. Then we add in these guys. All right. Oh boy. Okay. So, as a lot of you guys who commented on this video noticed, I decided to go a little crazy and do a little bit of microtonal key change in this song. And there's a couple of reasons for that as well. If you listen to the Aeolian's performance, which again, highly recommend, it's in the description if I remember. That's honestly a hit or miss for me, but it should be in there. So go watch it. They start in B flat, which is how it's written. I don't have it. I thought I had it with me. I don't. It's in B flat, and the arrangement itself stays in B flat the entire time. But what they decided to do was slowly over the course of the song, they shift to A major, so down a half step. There's not one moment in the song when they're singing that you can actually hear that shift. But if you play at the beginning and then you skip to the end, they're a half step apart, and it's crazy. And you can hear little moments in there where it's like the entire choir is like shifting together, and it's incredible. It's amazing, and it's it's cool. So I couldn't resist. So I decided to do that to a degree, but it's much more. Well, it's much less subtle than you can definitely tell that I'm doing it, and it's only in this one instance. So, there's a couple ways to do this. I haven't talked super in depth. I have a little bit in the 12 Days of Christmas one. There's a little bit, but people have been asking me like what the strategy is, or the strategy. What do you do in order to modulate to a half key? And I am far from an expert in that field. And I do not know all of the technical rules, or there's plenty of videos online where people will tell you much better than I could how to do that. But I can at least walk you through sort of my thought process with it and sort of what I've done, and I've gotten way better at it since I started, because it's a powerful tool to use, and it's difficult to wield it responsibly, especially when you just want to try everything. That's sort of what you have to do, though. You gotta mess up now and then. You gotta dip your toes in the water, even if you have no idea if there's any sharks in there or crocodiles that are gonna eat them off. But whatever. Anyways, listen here. Yeah, there we go. So there's a couple ways to do it. If you listen to something like Jacob Collier's Moon River, he sort of has this huge chord and then another big chord, and bam, you're in the half key all of a sudden, just like that. It's like a boom, like a supernova. That's cool. You can also do something like what he did with In the Bleak Midwinter, or the Christmas song, where you sort of slowly creep into that key. So it's more subtle. You might not necessarily hear like one moment where you're like, and you might not even realize until later, you're like, oh crap, what are we doing now? So that's what I decided to do here. Listen to the melody.
Go on.
Yeah, I strategically placed that movement, the whoa, just to give it a little bit of movement, so that it wasn't just a straight shot down. But then a lot of the other stuff follows that. So, oh god. So listen to this. Woo! So yeah, it's funky, and I know. So basically what I did here is, if you go into flex, again, I use flex pitch. I try not to rely on it, but it helps lock everything in for sure. But I'm really, I'm doing my best to actually legitimately sing it like this, like I'm trying to actually sing the shift myself and not just use the computer. So you can see now we are right in between, like that 49-cent or 50-cent mark, which is like dead on in between the two notes. See if I can find one that's just a smooth shift down. So I can show you with that. Yeah, most of them do have that movement in it. Yeah, so you've got that. Let me see what the melody is doing. So yeah, even before you go down, you can see this little line that represents like where it is on the pitch is shifting slowly downward, and then we have and all of a sudden we are there. So that's that. That's what you can do. You can slowly shift. I have this like long sustained chord that kind of just slowly. But one of the most important things that I did here, which I think is a great way to sort of sink into that thing, is the bass. So when you go down there, you've really locked it in, and I like doing that a lot. Where I did that in the beginning too, not with the half key, but where the bass. Once it does that, you're set. That's sort of like the cement that holds it together, and so. And now we are in a half key. We are now in F half sharp, because we've moved down a half step from F sharp. So that's that.
At the river.
So when I'm in a half key, this is what I like to do. In case you were unsure, just to really lock it in your brain, I just have a unison, or like just an octave apart.
At the river.
So that's what they're doing. So you're like, oh god, what's gonna happen? And then So that big old chord comes in, but I want to just really show off the fact that we are in a half key so you can hear this.
To the river.
We're not in
The river.
right in between that, and so you've got that, and then we've got this comes in river, and then I think we've got river. Yeah, it's almost like a pipe organ. River. We've got the justly tuned third in there. Is that this? Yes. Which is very flat. It's like not only is it in a half key, but it's justly tuned, which is like an additional 13 cents to 14 cents. So it's like almost, literally almost an A. But it's not. It's an A half sharp. But it's river. Yeah, and I can't get enough of that. But then I also wanted to hit the 9 really strong in this chord, so river. So that is that gives it its character right there, I guess. So that's all well and good. Now what are we gonna do? Whoa, that's unexpected. So I decided to go down a half step. Oh, okay. So that would be like a C half sharp? B half sharp, C half flat. I don't, C run, C dad run. And this is a chord that I've revisited a couple times. If you've heard Jacob Collier's Moon River, this is pretty much the end. Except it might be, here, I'm going to very speed again. Is it this? I can't remember. No, it's definitely not that. I think it is. I think it is the C half B half sharp. Anyways, there's not nearly enough or as many tracks as his, of course, but I really like that because you've got the major 7 in there somewhere. Let's see if I can find it, but it's very subtle. No. Nope. No, dingbat, where is it? There we go. So, we've got that. Which you can, it's very subtle when the whole chord comes in. But you can hear it in there and it just gives it this like, you can hear a little hint of it in there. And of course we've got the 9, the gosh, I'm not warmed up today. Which is nice as well. But I did not do the top C in this one. Can't. Just left it at that. So after that, where could we possibly go from there? And I can't even tell you why I decided to do that. I just was like, I thought that would be a cool place to go. And so now from there we go.
Guide my feet.
Nice. So.
Guide my feet and hold my hand.
All right, pretty consistent. Here we have.
Guide my feet and hold.
So right here, I decided not to put the bass track in there because I just wanted it to be a little bit lighter, sort of like a palate cleanser from all that craziness. So the lowest thing we have is this. I like that clash in there. The hold my hand.
Hold my hand.
Yeah. So what are we gonna do from here? Oh, here we go.
Take my hand. Take my hand.
Yeah, I just wanted like one last hurrah where we just go crazy in this key. So I did that pretty fast here with this.
Take my hand.
Got that nice swell there. Take my hand, and then this.
Take my hand.
Take my hand.
Take my hand. Take my hand.
And then I think these guys come in with that too. Don't.
Take my hand.
Woo! Woo! Yeah, that's pretty high. But I did it. You're welcome. Don't. Yeah, so that's just a pretty standard chord there. Okay. And here we go again. Now we need to figure out a way out. All right, we've been in half sharp world for long enough, at least in this song. So we need a way out. And there's also a number of ways to do that. I generally prefer, on the way in, you know, I could go either way. I could do like the supernova bang, or I could do like the slow red giant method. Wait a second. Like the white dwarf where it just, is that the name of the star? Where it shrinks or grows into just slowly but doesn't, whatever. Then coming out of it, I really prefer the smooth transition out. Sort of like the slow, if you listen to In the Bleak Midwinter, where you sort of slowly creep out into the regular key. I did that also in 12 Days of Christmas. And I think that gives it a really nice, unique sound. So this is the part where I decided to do that, and I'll walk you through it. Just listen. Yeah, ain't that something? So, my thought process here was that I wanted to get to F, because I wanted to end the song in F, because it's such a contrast from F sharp, and I feel like that is really home, and that would really feel nice and stable, because F sharp, to me, here I go again, is like, is a really nice, pretty key, but it feels like you're about to like fall off a cliff, because it's so unstable, it's so bright and warm that it's like, I don't know, but F is like a really sturdy, strong key that I feel like when we're singing about Lead Me Home, and then you finally sink into that F, you are home, and that was what I was imagining. And so that's really why I decided to do it as well, because I wanted to get from F sharp to F, and well, you know, I guess I just couldn't think of a better way to do it than go in between and then go all the way down. You're doing the slow descent back. I think it's important to have one note that just stays the same and there's no movement like from different pitches, but it stays and then it slowly sinks down into the new note. And preferably that note would be on the top, because you can really hear it that way, and it really confirms that. That's what he did in the Bleak Midwinter, and for me that's the F sharp, or F half sharp, which sinks down to the F. That's on the top. Sorry, that's not right. Oh, yes it is. Yeah, so right there. It's really obvious when you hear it like that, but it sort of hides in all this stuff. Yeah, so... So what we have sort of over the course of this progression, it is slowly creeping downward, but it's not significant. So right here we're still pretty much in half key world, and it's not until those last two notes that we really start to go back into our new home. So there we have the melody, lead me home, then there we have the fifth. Yeah. This is, yeah. So I had everything, I think, up until this point. So I had all that, and I was like, it's still missing something. I don't know what it is, though. Then I sort of heard this. I heard this possibility down there. This. So that's gonna clash. It's gonna, yeah. Which really did it for me. I was like, all right, that's it. There we go. So that bottom clash there. And then once again with the bass, except this time when we lock into that, it's from the bottom. So we go all the way down. So we go lead. And then right when we lock into that, it's perfectly in tune, which is like, bang, we're home. But when we go down to this C half sharp, by the time we hit that F, we're already there. So the C is going to go down to what it should be. So it's going to something like that. And so by the end of it, we're in tune on. And then, so you've got that. You've got the bass in place. And you've got the melody doing that sort of the single note creeping downward. Then everything else can do whatever it wants until it creeps into whatever note you want to be in that chord. The third is probably one of my favorite ones. Because the third is already a little bit flat in a perfectly tuned major chord, and so it feels a little bit nice because it's like, oh, you don't even have to move that far. So we've got that third that sort of finds. So even if you just had this, it would be fine. Oh, that's not what I want. Nice. And then, yeah, but then you add all this other stuff. And for the first time, that's just an F major triad. No 9, no major 7, no nonsense, just bang, we're home. And I could have ended the song there, couldn't I have? I mean, we're home, right? But alas, not alas, I decided to do more. Because I needed just a last little cherry on top. So if you listen again to the arrangement that I based this loosely off, and also the Aeolians performance, they do this amazing, amazing thing at the end. Because there's this section at the end after you say home. There's this like where they're all singing but on the second to last syllable they like do this swell, and the last note is like very quiet. They like lilt off of it. It's amazing. Listen to it. It goes like so I tried to do a little bit of that in here. I didn't do it as well as they did, but so yeah, so what we have here, so the way that I did that was it's this slow, like that's pretty quiet. I like do a little decrescendo, and then the last note you really got to get off of it fast. You got to make it quiet. So yeah, and I love this clash also with the. Is it here? Yeah, we got the. Is it down here too? No, it's just here. But then we've got the B flat, which. And everything else finds a place in there. Yes. And then, yeah, what really adds to that swell before the end is this low C, the whoa. And all together, it makes that nice little progression there, which is like, that really closes out the song. Like, yeah, we're definitely home. We're going to do a little celebration, and then we're done. Like... And there you have it. And that's that, guys. Look at that. We are done with this project. And I forgot to mention, it is not by any means does not follow the metronome. you know, I mean, like, it's, you know, it's nothing to do with the metronome. I did not use it for this one, which I do enjoy. I do like following the metronome in some projects, but this is not one of them because I really needed that extra space to just be free and as expressive as I needed to be. So guys, that's about it. I'm sort of struggling to adequately explain all of these processes that I go through. Um, but overall, I was very happy with this project. I completed it in, I'd say, about 2 weeks' time, and that was with maybe not spending as much time on it as I normally would. I've just been pretty busy with other things, but um, but I'm pretty happy with it, and I think it's probably one of the best, if not the best, microtonal uh, transitions or modulations that I've ever been able to do. Still plenty of room to grow, but I'm more than happy with it, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something, if not just confirmed or affirmed your knowledge of how insane I am. That's always a plus. But thank you guys for watching, and check out those things that I've linked in the description. Check out my latest projects, because I'm always working on something new, or at least I'm trying to. And thank you all for being so incredible and for supporting me, and love you all. Peace out.